PACER's Project Launch presents Work Incentives with the Social Security Administration and Minnesota Disability Determination Services. Our speakers today are Sara, who is a Work Incentive Coordinator from Social Security Administration, and Sara, a Medical Relations Officer from Minnesota Disability Determination Services.
If you've been approved for SSI or SSDI, now what? You're disabled, you just, you're at home now. That's not the case for most people. In the 20-some years I've worked with this program, I found that people that do have a disability want to work. It might not be, they might not be able to work the same way they used to. They might not be able to work the same amount of hours as they used to, but people want to work. And Social Security wants you to work because that benefits everybody. Work incentives with Social Security are employment support provisions that assist beneficiaries from moving from dependency to independence. We want to help beneficiaries re-enter or stay in the workforce by protecting their eligibility to cash payments and health care. People will sometimes not work because they're worried about their payments stopping, and a lot of times, even more importantly, they're worried about their health insurance stopping. So that will prevent them from working. But we have a lot of programs available to help you keep eligibility for both. So Sara talked a little bit about this, Section 301, payment continuation. And those are those instances where you're either you're on benefits. So maybe you're on a child's benefits and now you have to be reevaluated under adult criteria, or even as an adult, we're required to review your case every so often medically, and you could be found to be medically improved, in which case your benefits would stop. But if you are participating in certain vocational rehabilitation programs, we can continue those benefits until those vocational rehabilitation programs end. So one of those programs would be an IEP program, the Next Step program, where a lot of individuals, our young adults are from 18 through 21. So that's why it's also important to get that IEP in when if you are having that age 18 review on SSI. So what this is basically saying is that, okay, you're medically improved, but we see that you're really trying to get back to work. So to support you in that, we'll continue to pay you while you finish this program. So you won't have to worry about that income while you finish this program and hopefully return to work. So the IEP is the big one with this age group, but there's also the Ticket to Work program and Plan to Achieve Self-Support along with traditional vocational rehabilitation that can continue your benefits, even if you are found medically improved. So the Ticket to Work program was mentioned there. The Ticket to Work program is something that is available to all beneficiaries on SSI or SSDI between the ages of 18 and 65. It is a program where participants, they work with benefit specialists and they plan their employment, and it's at no cost to them. We have some wonderful Ticket to Work agencies in Minnesota, and they interview people, they figure out what kind of Social Security benefits do they get, what kind of state benefits do they get, and they look and they see what kind of work can they do. There might be referrals to voc rehab if that is needed, and then they just they help people understand, okay, if I'm working here, how will this affect all these different benefits? I live in a Social Security bubble. I know how your work will affect your Social Security benefits. I don't know how work will affect other benefits that you might have in addition to Social Security, and these benefits planners can look at all of that. It's a free and voluntary service to all our beneficiaries, and you can use it if you want to, but there's no penalty for not using it. I will occasionally get frantic phone calls from people saying, I got this ticket to work and, you know, I am in recovery right now. I just had surgery or something like that. I'm like, no worries, no worries. It's there if you want to use it. And I highly encourage individuals who want to return to work to use it. So we're going to talk a little bit about SSI only employment supports. So this would only apply to individuals receiving supplemental security income. We talked a little bit about how SGA only applies to SSI beneficiaries at the initial claims level, but then after you've been approved, then your wages are counted in a different way. So we won't count the first $65 of the earnings received plus 1/2 of the remaining earnings before we start reducing your SSI. So for an easy example, you know, let's say you make $165 in March, okay? Well, lop off $65 and then divide that 100 by 2. So that means your SSI will be reduced by $50. It won't be reduced by the whole $165 that you earned. But when you add all that up, though, you still end up ahead. So yes, your SSI is reduced a bit, but overall, your total income for the month is still more. So it's worth it to work. The student earned income exclusion, very important for this age group. So if you're under 22 and regularly attending school, and regularly attending means college or university or grades 7 through 12 or in a training course. And you have to be participating in a certain amount of hours per week or month. In those instances, that young adult can make up to $2,040 gross before it starts affecting their SSI. There is a yearly cap on that. It's $8,230 gross, but this is an incredible benefit for our young people wanting to work. You do have to provide verification of that. We're not just going to know that. So if you are working and you are a student, you just need to let us know about your student status. Sometimes we can call the school. Sometimes, you know, we just ask for a letter or something from the school, or, you know, something showing you're enrolled. And then we can apply that to your record. I also wanted to give a shout out to ABLE accounts. We talked about those resource limits of $2,000. So if you are working, or if you have family members that want to assist you, you can sign up for an ABLE account. If you're familiar with 529 college accounts, they are, it's run very similarly. So you have to be disabled before the age of 26. It has to be administered by a qualified ABLE program. The Minnesota ABLE accounts are administered by SaveWithABLE.com. Though 40 out of 50 states have qualified ABLE programs, and if you like Wisconsin's program better, you can go and sign up with Wisconsin, even if you live in Minnesota. But the key to that is you can actually save up to $100,000 in these ABLE accounts for the disabled beneficiary without it affecting your SSI. So that's quite a big difference from $2,000. The key, though, is that this account is only for qualified disability expenses. But it's pretty wide ranging. So the funds in this account, you know, can be used for housing, education, healthcare, transportation, assistive technology, personal support services, job training. And then another employment support we have is we can reinstate SSI eligibility without a new application. If you start working to the point where you would be ineligible for a Social Security benefit. So, I mean, you'd have to be making, you know, a little over $1,700 a month in order to do this. So, you know, you are not due an SSI payment because of your work and earnings. Your SSI benefits don't just stop. We want to give you an opportunity to try to work without worrying about not having your SSI if you need it. So your record basically goes into like a suspense status for a whole year. If after a year or you've been suspended for a year, then your benefits will terminate and you would need a new application. But during that year, your benefits and your health insurance benefits, they're continue. But your monthly benefits just kind of stay in the suspended status. And so, you know, if you go to work and after 5 or 6 months, all of a sudden something happens, your disability relapses, you know, or you just find it too hard to maintain the level of employment that you've had. All you have to do is let us know and we can reinstate those SSI benefits without a new application. And like I said, your Medicaid or your health insurance continues during this time as well. Some SSDI only employment supports. So for SSDI, we look at SGA throughout the whole life of the application. So it is different than SSI. So if you're on SSDI, you get a 9-month trial work period, which is a period of time to test your ability to work, and you can make as much as you want and still collect your Social Security benefits. After that 9 months is over, then you go into a 3-year period of extended period of eligibility. And during that time, this is where SGA really counts. If you're working above SGA, you are not due a Social Security check. If you're working below SGA, you are due a Social Security check. If at the end of that 3 years, you're working SGA, your benefits do terminate at that point. Though again, your Medicare can continue. And there's also a reinstatement program for SSDI. It's called EXR, Expedited Reinstatement. And so after you're terminated, if within 5 years you have to stop work again due to your disability, then you can file an application and we will pay you benefits while DDS is making their determination. Because you've already been found disabled, you know, where normally when you file an initial application, you have to wait, right, to see if you're approved. For an EXR, we will pay you benefits while we are making that determination.
Thank you for watching, and a special thanks to Sara of Minnesota Disability Determination Services and Sara of the Social Security Administration. Pacer Center is here to help. Contact us at transition@pacer.org or pacer@pacer.org, or call us at 952-838-9000, or look more at our resources at pacercenter.org/transition.